Hello everyone, today I want to share my Xingqiu build and team compositions with you in this short guide. As always, I start with the build, then go over the team compositions and show some Abyss gameplay at the end.
I'm going in! Adventure! Swirl, Mark 2! No, my soul!
For Xingqiu, you can get away with just building energy recharge if you just want him to enable your pyro characters. But if you want him on higher investment, you just build him like a regular sub DPS, high attack, high crit rate, crit damage, and also hydro damage bonus in his case. I like to have him on very high energy recharge because I feel like he gets way more reliable, and also you get a little bit of damage in return from the Emblem of Severed Fate set. You obviously don't need a lot of elemental mastery because he isn't the one finishing reactions, he's the one enabling them ideally. As for talents, this character is all about the elemental burst skill, so prioritize leveling this up first, then the elemental skill, and you can ignore the normal attacks. As for Constellations, nothing here is too interesting, most of it is just a straight up damage increase. Constellation 6 is nice though because it generates extra energy for Xingqiu, which makes him again more reliable. For weapon options, unfortunately the Sacrificial Sword on Xingqiu is just incredibly strong because his elemental skill cooldown is pretty long, so resetting it is very strong. So not having this weapon is kind of a big deal, but you can make it work without it. You can pick something like the Favonius Sword or the Festering Desire, something with energy recharge as substat, because you need to build a lot of it, like 300% or more, to get his elemental burst skill off reliably whenever it comes off cooldown. As for artifacts, we already covered substats earlier, and for main stats it's always attack percentage, potentially energy recharge if you don't have the Sacrificial Sword. Always hydro damage bonus in this slot, and always a crit rate or crit damage, whichever one balances your stats better in the last slot. And for the set effect, I think you can run the Noblesse set, it's decent, but the best one by far is definitely the Emblem of Severed Fate set. As for team compositions, Xingqiu is a support, so you want to pair him with the second support, a main DPS and a healer. As always, pretty much any healer works, but most people prefer Bennett, so I'll pick him here. As a main DPS, pretty much anything works, for example something like a Ningguang, and you pick a second support, something like Yunjin for example, and Xingqiu is a sub DPS, so he will just provide extra damage while he is off field and you are on your main DPS. But there are obviously better choices of team compositions for him, for example something like, you pick something like Zhang Ling as your second support, and something like Raiden Shogun for example as your main DPS, or something like Shon Yun. This is called the National Comp and it is a quick swap team, so you just rotate through all your characters constantly and press your elemental skills and elemental burst skills. But there's obviously one thing Xingqiu can pretty much do like no other character in this game, and that is enabling pyro main DPS characters. It's a vaporized team, and this is probably the best use of this support character. So if you have any pyro main DPS character like Hu Tao, Klee, Yanfei, Yoimiya, Diluc or anything like this, you probably want to build Xingqiu. So this will be your main DPS, and in your last slot as a support you want to pick an anemo character like Sucrose or Venti or Kazuha for example. In case of Kazuha you also get an elemental damage bonus, and in case of Sucrose you also get an elemental mastery bonus, which makes these two options the best one in the last slot. And now for the showcase. Again, it's very straightforward. All you gotta do with this character is pretty much press the elemental burst skill and elemental skill, and that's pretty much it. But to see the whole thing, you press on Bennett your elemental burst skill, lower the resistances to pyro with a Sucrose, activate the elemental burst skill on Xingqiu, press the elemental skill, and then just start vaporizing. And for now, I'm gonna leave you with some Abyss gameplay and come back at the end of the video. And I'm sorry, I just realized I also forgot to turn on the dialogue volume, so the characters will be pretty silent during this. Alright, we made it to the end. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this gave you some inspiration for your own builds. Stay tuned for the next video. Until then, have fun and bye bye.